Okay, it is officially time for the next A to Z mini rework my thoughts, ideas, blah, 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 blah. Next, we have Fiora, the Grand Duelist. Damage is definitely physical. Way more auto attacks and abilities. This is true, but I would actually lean it a little bit more to the right, though, because she does use her abilities a surprising amount. Like, you'd be very surprised by how often she hits all of her buttons. Difficulty is 3. I would argue 2, but I can definitely understand why 3. This is another problem here, but okay. Damage 3, defensive 2, crowd control. To be truthful, this should honestly be 1, because yes, she has a stun, but it's a very meh stun. Mobility 2, this is very true. Utility 2, this is also very true. I'm fine with this. As I said, I do think it might be a bit of a problem. I would honestly maybe lower her damage and just make her flat out 2s. But yeah, that's about all I got when it comes to that. Okay, the most feared duelist in all of Valoran, Fiora is as renowned for her brusque manner and cunning mind as she is for the speed of her blue steel rapier. Blue steel. Born to House Laurent in the kingdom of Demacia, Fiora took control of the family from her father in the wake of a scandal that nearly destroyed them. House Laurent's reputation was sundered, but Fiora bends her every effort to restore her family's honor and return them to their rightful place among the great and good of Demacia. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. Next, we have her abilities. Duelist Stance is a broken thing. Fiora challenges nearby enemy champions to dodge her. She calls out a direction from which she will try to strike. If she can complete her own challenge, she receives a small bonus and calls out a new direction. By small bonus, they mean she heals and does extra damage to you for hitting these spots. It is stupid. Her kit basically revolves around it, to be kind of truthful, but it is so much damage. To what I think, I think there should be an audio part of this, such as it says she calls out, she does not. All it really means is she calls out is that like that mark has showed up. The only way to get rid of the mark is for her to either smack it or for you to run out of her range and then walk back in it, which then you'll be immediately greeted with a new mark, which could be in the same place or in a completely different place. So, well, there are 4 directions that it is capable of being in, and each one is equally annoying. Now, the one closest to her is obviously going to be the most annoying. Okay, I said equally annoying, but you know what I mean. You don't know what I mean, but each one is just very annoying. That's really all you need to know. But the one that's closest to her is going to be the most annoying because it's the easiest one for her to proc. 2. She's challenging them to a duel. A duel is 2 parts, meaning you should be able to hit her the same. But that would obviously be kind of stupid. So it makes perfect sense why that doesn't happen, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying. 3. She should not heal and do bonus damage off of these. Like, pick one. Pick one or the other. Have her do bonus damage or have her heal from hitting this spot. Because, yes, it makes it, like, more desirable to hit if it does both. But at the same time, her abilities make it so easy to hit them that she could just smack them whether she really needs to or not. So I would honestly pick the healing one, that way just to give her a bit more survivability and utility, instead of picking the extra damage one, that way she still has a fair fight, she just gets to heal. Which I guess is not fully fair fight, but still. So I would just dull her passive down by making it pick a direction, and I would also add an audio part of it where instead of her just calling out a direction by marking it on your body, she'd actually screams a direction, whether it be like north, south, east, or west. That way, and she screams it before the mark actually goes there, so you know where the mark is going to be. And every time she hits the mark, she does the same thing. That way, even if you're in the middle of a fight, you know where it's going to be. And that way you can play around it if you're actually skilled enough to hear her and then realize what you're doing. And then she can also do the exact same thing by hearing what she herself is going to say and then prepare for it preemptively. Okay, lunge. Fiora lunges in a direction and stabs a nearby enemy, dealing physical damage and applying on-hit effects. I'm fine with the on-hit effects. Usually I'm not, but honestly I'm fine with it. Yes, it is a dash and an auto, which slightly annoys me, but I will accept it. I don't think it's as ridiculous as Irelia's, where she can dash to you specifically, restore part of her mana, restore part of her health, and all that nonsense. All it does is proc on hit effects, which yes can restore part of her health, but at the same time it's not the biggest deal in the world, and then she just autos you. So it's basically just someone dashing and autoing you anyway, so you might as well just be fighting like a Lucian, because yes, that doesn't yes, his doesn't like make you auto who he's around, but it procs his passive, which does allow him to shoot a second auto. Meaning he's basically going to auto you anyway. What else? Oh, now the problem that I have with it, as I said, it makes it so easy. Now, as you can see right here, you're going to watch her just dash to you and smack. Now, imagine if she was standing where she dashes to, and she dashes to your mark, and then smacks that. It's that easy, because that will proc the mark. And that's part of the reason why I said her abilities make it very easy to hit them. And then this. Riposte. Fiora parries all incoming damage and disables for a short time. Then stabs in a direction. This stab slows the first enemy champion hit or stuns them if Fiora block any immobilizing effect with this ability. Meaning if she gets CC'd when she's using this ability, she will CC you and not get CC'd herself. Now yes, she does actually stand still for a moment, so if you realize this, then you can dodge it yourself because it is also a skill shot. This ability takes a lot of skill to use to its fullest potential. I have seen Fiora's block Garen ults, Vigor ults, any sort of ult that would normally kill them using this ability and then dash away. I have also seen them use this ability exactly like this, where they see a Jax using his helicopter ability, and then as he jumps to her, usually which would be followed by immediate stun because of the helicopter, it would then cause her to stun him because she can time it properly. And then at the same time, I've also seen people get stunned by someone else and then fling it towards another person. That way she can stun one person because she knows that person will be more difficult to handle. And if you didn't understand that, I mean, like, let's say Jax and Galio are both attacking her at the same time. Galio charges to her using his E, which would usually stun. Now, because of this, she uses her W. Or, well, that wouldn't usually stun, they would usually knock up. Because of this, she uses her W, blocking it. But instead of using her W in the direction of Galio, she uses it in the direction of Jax. That way, when Jax runs into her W, he gets stunned, but Galio is still left there unstunned. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, then what happens next? Then she uses her ult. He uses his W. Because of the taunt, she still gets off her ult, procs, and then she manages to kill him. Because, like, the taunt only makes you auto-attack, so it's really not that big of a deal when you're trying to auto-attack anyway. So that happens, and I think that ability, honestly, is fine just the way it is. Her E is a bit annoying. Blade Work. Fiora has increased attack speed for the next two autos. The first attack slows the target. The second attack will critically strike. See, that's the part that I dislike and I'm okay with at the same time. It will critically strike. Meaning, no matter what, she's going to crit you. And I find that a little annoying because if she gets that level 1 or level 2, she can trade with you insanely easy. Because I don't really know if her Q procs her first auto attack with her E, but I believe it does. Meaning, if she activates her Q, she activates her E, then uses her Q, that gets off an auto attack. Because of that then means that her second auto attack will be guaranteed crit, meaning she can just hit you again. She just got 2 auto attacks off on you really quickly because of her increase of attack speed with her E, plus the free attack with her Q, plus she gained some distance depending on which direction she dashed in, making it very difficult. And as I said, like, her marks this entire time are being procced. We probably got the first mark pretty easily. The next mark probably spawned on, like, just, like, let's say she Qs and hits that mark that's next to you. She then will jump to the mark that will spawn behind you. It doesn't really spawn in any set order, but at the same time, it's still just a bit annoying. And as I said, like, her abilities make it very easy to hit them. With her W, I don't think it can proc her passive, but I could be incorrect about that. The Q, you can dash and hit someone like that. But then there's also the fact that her E increases her attack speed, so if you're trying to reposition, then you can just walk over and smack. Now, I just thought about one other thing. I'm pretty sure if she gets her passive, she not only gains HP, but yeah, I was right. She also gains movement speed and extra damage. See, that's what I'm saying is like a bit much. I would, as I said, I would remove the extra damage, but I would keep the healing and the movement speed. That way she can reposition to keep hitting more of the things, and then she can also, like, just heal off during the same time without just completely disintegrating you. It makes her way too strong early game, and late game it really isn't that big of a deal, but it is strong enough to where it's very annoying, and if you are dueling her late game, she can kill you that much faster if she's, like, properly hitting those. And her ult, grand challenge, even though it's not really that much of a challenge at all. Fiora reveals all 4 vitals on an enemy champion and grants movement speed while near them. If Fiora hits all 4 vitals, or if the target dies after she has hit at least one, Fiora and her allies in the area are healed over the next few seconds. Now, the heal is more for the more vitals you hit, meaning if you hit all 4, it will be the strongest, whether they die or not. But if you hit 2 of them and then they die, then the heal will not be as strong. This is where her utility comes from, and I'm actually okay with it for the most part, because I've seen Fiora's mark it on someone who's about to die and then walk over and smack them dead. I've seen Fiora's mark it on an ADC that's out of position and then just instantly destroy them because they hit like 3 of the vitals, and because of the extra damage, as I was just saying, plus the damage with her E, meaning the crit, they die instantly, plus any extra damage from their teammates. And then I've also seen, like, a team fight that's happening, and the tanks are actually being really smart, so is the backline, meaning that the tanks are in front of your face and the backline's too far away to hit. You mark the tanks, and because you actually do, like, percentage max HP damage with that, because that's, like, what the vitals do, as I said, that's the extra damage. You destroy the tanks, and then you work your way back to the ADCs and backline. And I honestly, I think the ability is okay as it is. It's very annoying to duel her, but as I said, she is the grand duelist. Like, that is her main goal, is to make it very difficult to 1v1 her. It's possible, but it is insanely difficult, requiring both you and her to have a lot of skill. And because of that, for the most part, I'm actually very okay with Fiora. I do find sometimes her burst to be a little bit ridiculous, meaning, like, I'm at full HP, she walks over, hits a vital, Qs hits a vital, Es hits another vital and gets a crit, and then I'm dead. And it's just like, well, that was quick. Or because her ult is a point and click, she just ults you and then dives you, like, under tower, gets the healing off, and then just, there you go. But at the same time, I can understand how there's, like, a lot of skill to this, and because of that, I'm honestly fine with it for the most part. As I said, the only thing I would really do is change her passive to only heal and give movement speed and not do bonus damage at all. It would just do, like, the equivalent damage of her auto attack. It would not do any bonus damage at all. You'd be autoed from her, and that's all that you need to happen. The heal and movement speed should be enough to satisfy you. The Q. I would make her dash. I would keep it the way it is, except for one thing, and this is actually a bit of a buff, so bear with me. Such as, I would make it so that depending on her movement speed, it makes the Q dash go faster. Now you're probably thinking, what? Because the cooldown on this ability is already pretty darn small. It's like 2-3 seconds at like max level, something like that. And because of that, I find it a little very, very annoying. But at the same time, from it going faster, you'll be able to move around a target easier. You will also be able to get the cooldown like started sooner. Overall, it is just a pure, unadulterated buff. That, to be truthful, I am not 100% sure if she should get or not, because I find that it might be a bit too strong, but that this is like a 50-50 thing. I don't really think she needs it, but maybe just to make up for the lack of damage, like maybe that lack of damage from her passive might be a bit more than what I'm really picturing it to be. Well, to be truthful, I want it to be a decent amount, but I don't want it to be like now she can't be played at all type of a champion, or type of a change. So because of that, I still want her to be played a little bit, so that, or like a good amount, and be the destroyer that I know she is. And because of that, I would maybe add this if the damage from her passive, or if as I said, like the thing from her passive actually goes through, she loses the extra damage, and then you like somehow she just falls through the world and no one plays her again. This might be a reasonable buff to prevent complete lack of play and all at all. Then we have her W. As I said, I would keep it the exact same. There's a lot of skill to it. In general, it's a good ability. I like it. Keep it the same. Her E. I'm not quite sure. I like the fact that it gives the attack speed. I don't like the fact that it is a guaranteed hit. Maybe if it just increased your crit chance, I'd be more okay with it. But at the same time, as I said, it might lower her damage a bit too much. So that would have to be kind of checked on with in the public beta and everything. Meaning we'd have to like change her and then throw this change in there along with the other change, along with her passive change, because no matter what, that passive change should happen. I know it's not going to, because Riot's not hearing any of this, but no matter what, that passive change should happen. It's just too much damage. And because of that, I think that you might need to keep her E the way it is. That way she can still do a reasonable amount of damage. But at the same time, as I said, I find it's going to crit to be a little bit more annoying than it really should be. And because of that, I think that it maybe should just increase her crit chance by like 50% or something like that, which that's honestly like very high. Like even if you don't have any crit, you still have a 50-50 chance to crit your next auto, even if you don't have any crit chance at all. But then at the same time, you could have like one crit item. You could have like IE. Someone will get IE, and because of that, it will make that 50% crit chance 100% crit, doubling your crit chance and all. And there you go. Then it will become a guaranteed crit anyway, but you will have to actually, spend the time and money to get the IE, which is just like a big part of it. Now, I don't really know. I've seen some Fioras get IE when they're just like trying to build damage, but at the same time, I don't really think it's the general Fiora thing. So she will have to, go out of her way to get this, or just choose to not have that guaranteed crit. And then her passive, as I said, I would keep it the same, even though I do find it a little bit annoying and a little bit too strong. But the only reason I find it so annoying is because it does everything I was saying earlier, where it does the bonus damage, it heals her, plus it heals the entire team, and it also gives bonus movement speed. It's just a little bit too much to be on one ability. But as I said, if they change the passive, then that really won't be that much of a problem, and it'll be fine. So there you go. That's a rework. Skins. Well, not really rework. Changes. Fiora, Royal Guard Fiora, Royal Guard Fiora. Honestly, I think this one should be more like the Musketeer Fiora or something like that, because she just looks. She is a Musketeer in it. I understand that, but at the same time, I think it should be more along the line of Musketeer, even if she is the Royal Guard, and that's what Royal Guards wore. I just like the first thing that comes to mind is Musketeer over Royal Guard. All of her skins actually look really, really good. Night Raven Fiora, perfect just the way it is. Looks really cool, as I was saying. Headmistress Fiora is fine. A nice, wonderful skin. Project Fiora, as you can see, looks incredibly cool. Overall, good skin. Pool Party Fiora. Oh, oh. Everyone around shows the expect. Oh, oh. He's even glancing over. Katarina's like, whoa. So overall, a nice, cool skin. Just overall good looking. Soaring Sword Fiora. I think the Soaring Sword skins in general just look way too like similar to each other. Since his Master Yi and Janna also have them, they all look insanely similar, and that's what I don't like about it. But overall, I think it is a very cool skin in general. I think she needs more of a comedic skin. I'm not quite sure what, but like all of her skins are super serious. Okay, except for really this one, but I wouldn't really call this a comedic skin because she herself looks super serious. Just like the background of the splash art in itself is like what's not super serious, as I said, with these guys and them. But at the same time, in game, it just seems like a serious skin, and then all these look very serious. So I do think that it needs some sort of like, kind of like Fiddlesticks, his last one. Let me find it. Shoot, oh, there it is. Surprise party fiddle, like a more stupid looking skin. Like she can have a balloon animal sword, something along those lines. Maybe like a Halloween skin, or kind of like where is it? Where's the comedic one that I'm trying to find from here? Here it is, Mundo Mundo. I'm not saying have like a Fiora, but have like Fiora dressed up as a different champion, or something along those lines. Maybe like have like Irelia Fiora, because Irelia and Fiora are honestly kind of similar, way too similar now. They're very similar. They're all pretty different, but at the same time pretty similar now with their kits. And blah blah blah. Like there you go. Have like her look like that. Have like the pool party one, or not the pool party. Have like the surprise party skin. Give her a balloon animal sword, and just have her have like a less serious skin in general. Just make it seem like she's enjoying life in some sort. Maybe have like a where is Shaco? Shaco. Maybe have like some sort of Shaco skin in the sense of she like Asylum. Maybe have like an Asylum one where she's turned completely insane, and something along those lines, just to like keep it a comedic, weird looking feel. And that's about it. Okay, but that has been Fiora, the Grand Duelist. Thank you all very much for watching. If you happen to know any Riot members, please inform them of these thoughts. Hopefully, maybe they'll change them. Hopefully, maybe they'll contact me, being like, hey, you have any other ideas? So thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.